Alright, so at this point you should have your Facebook fan page created, you should have your pixel installed on your funnel, and now what we want to do is start running what's called a conversion campaign. And a conversion campaign is really the way that we send new potential leads through your sales funnel. You start collecting leads, you begin building kind of your email list and stuff like that. So this is where we put people through and try to acquire new customers, which is ultimately where you need to get to. So let me make this slightly bigger. Okay, so just to start, let's go into your ads manager. Okay, so if you need to get there, you can go to business.facebook.com/ads manager, business.facebook.com/ads manager. And just make sure you're in the same ad account that we set up the pixel, because if you're in a different ad account, that will not work properly. So first thing you want to do is click Create Ad. Okay, and I already had something that I was working on, and so I'm going to click on Start Over. Okay, so the first thing that we want to do is to create a new campaign, and we're going to do a conversions campaign. So under conversions, what we're going to name this, let's just say that we're going to do an ebook offer. So let's just, campaign name will be ebook offer. That's going to be our front end offer. So your ad account should already be set up. This whole page you likely will not even see because you did this on your likes campaign. Under ad set name, typically just like the likes campaign, I do interests, age, and country. So I will just leave that as is. And then under the conversion event, you're going to click here, and it's going to give you lead. So it'll say lead, number one's pixel. That is what you're going to click, and that should be there because in the previous video where we talked about the pixel, we installed that and got that going properly. Okay, so down here, just depending on who you're going to target, you know, the type of person you're going to target, everything like that. You're going to select, typically I won't go beneath 25 years old, but let's just say, you know, as a general rule, if you're 50 years old, I would go somewhere between 35 and 65 plus or something like that. Give yourself kind of a 15-year window. Obviously, if you're a little younger, 25, I mean, maybe do 21 to 40 or something like that. But ultimately, here's my strategy in the very beginning. When you're just getting going on a conversions campaign, I do 25 to 65 plus, and I just launch it out to everybody, and then you can come back and actually track your numbers and track exactly how everything's performing. So if we go here, gender, all, and then usually what I'll do is English, or language, I'll do English all. If you're marketing this to a different language, obviously put the language in there. For the countries or locations that you want to target, if you're doing location-based targeting, let's say you're doing an event, you can type in specific addresses if you want to get that specific. Let's say like 1000 South Broadway and let's see, like Boise, Idaho. I'm just making something up, but you can type in exact addresses and then set the radius to, let's say, 5 miles. If you wanted to get really, really targeted. But outside of that, what you can do is you can just do countries, United States, you can do United Kingdom. So just select countries that are, you know, number one, if you have offers of $100, $1,000, $5,000, if you have stuff like that, then number one, the really important piece to this is making sure you're targeting countries that are going to have plenty of people who can pay that price. So just keep that in mind. Now, when it comes to detailed targeting, first things first, uncheck expand interests. In every test that I've ever done over the years, that has always increased my cost per lead. So I always have that turned off. And I've also talked with many industry experts, for instance, from Digital Marketer. They have also found the same thing. So just food for thought there. Now we go to demographics, interest, behaviors. So let's say we're targeting a clothing line towards moms. and it's kind of like cheesy mom t-shirts or something like that, what I would do is I would type in moms, and maybe I would do stay-at-home moms, or maybe I would do, let's see, moms of high school kids, or something like that. Facebook is adjusting some of their demographic targeting, so let's see. So we could do like dance moms or something like that. So you're going to basically target based on that kind of thing. So for instance, let's say I'm giving away an ebook offer towards entrepreneurs. I'm going to type in, let's try small business owners. Okay, so let's say small business owner. This is people who list themselves as small business owners on Facebook. There's 39 million people. Sure, let's try it out. So here's a couple things to keep in mind. Number one, typically after I type in one of these, I usually want to have a potential reach of over 500,000 people. That helps keep my cost per lead a little bit lower. Now, the other thing here is in the beginning when we're going to split test all of these, you only want to have one interest in here unless they're really, really similar. For instance, if I'm going to do small business owners, maybe I'll combine small business owners and this demographic of small business owners, because it says that they're going to be individuals who are likely to be a small business owner. So Facebook is going to remove these coming soon, so just keep that in mind. So if they're very, 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 very similar, you can potentially do more, but I like to keep them separated just because it really, from this perspective, it really helps when we split test so we can tell which ones are working and which ones aren't for your individual offers. So, okay, so I'm going to hide this message. All right, now I'm going to come down here and I'm going to do edit placements. Oh, and by the way, one other thing on this detailed targeting. If you want some more suggestions, cool thing is you can click suggestions here, and then that way, job titles, self-employed, right? So if you want to get some more suggestions, you can also do that as well. Okay, so when we come down here to edit placements, I recommend in the beginning just keeping all devices, and then I usually just launch my ads. If you're just doing Facebook, I usually just uncheck everything except Facebook feeds, and this is what it'll look like right here. So I uncheck everything else except Facebook feeds, and then as I go down, I am still at a 7.3 million reach, so that's plenty of people. My ad cost should be pretty low, and then I usually do in the very beginning about a $5 daily budget for my ad set, and I'll show you why, because we're going to test multiple different ad sets, so we will spend more than $5. It's just yeah, so I leave all of this the same. I click continue, and then the ad name up here, I click advanced options, and I leave it at ad set name, just like that, and then there we go. Okay, so now that I have my Facebook page here selected, I have the ad set name. Typically I do single image, but if you have videos or anything like that, you can use videos as well. And then I'm just going to grab a photo here. The big thing to remember with photos is just making sure that the resolution on it is big enough and it looks good. Okay, so scrolling down, I'm going to hide this, and text, I'm going to use my story ad. So let me grab that. Alright, so I grabbed my story ad here, and then I'm going to put in for my headline. I've just used this headline quite a few times, so I usually put something like this, and then I'll go to show advanced options here and paste in my little newsfeed link description. And then for my website URL, I'm going to go over to my Cheetah site builder, and I'm just going to grab whatever your opt-in page link is. That's the link that you want to grab. Okay, so what you can do is just over here hit go to website,
and whatever the URL is at the very top of your page, you're just going to click that and you're going to paste it in, okay? So you'll just go to the top into the URL bar, copy that, and then paste it into your Facebook ads. It's pretty simple.
All right, so I got my whole story ad here. It's pretty long. And I usually like to put like an emoji in here before, so I'm using complicated and confusing. So I might put like a confused or mad emoji before starting an online business. Complicated, but this is generally how the ad will look. And so this is good enough for now, and that's definitely good enough to get us going. So I'm going to click confirm, and give me 1 second. I'm going to enter this info. Alright, so I am publishing it, and now my campaign is published. So let me refresh this. Alright, so now it's in review, and because I don't actually want this to run, I'm just going to turn it off. But you'll just leave yours on, and so now we have our campaign. If I click on campaign, it takes me to my ad set. The ad set, again, is where all of our targeting and everything like that is. First thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to click Edit on the ad set, and I'll go to Advanced Options here and just do a quick rename. That will kind of refresh the name, or it should. Let's see, let's make sure my interests are here. Yeah, small business owners. It doesn't seem like it's grabbing that, so let me see here. Rename. Close. Yeah, it doesn't seem to be grabbing the interest name, but that's okay for right now. Let me click on that, and then here is our ad. Okay, so with a conversion campaign, here's what I typically recommend for people. I recommend that you split test about 5 to 10 different audiences, and so that would mean having 5 to 10 different ad sets here. And then inside of each ad set, I recommend having about 3 photos. So you're split testing 3 different photos inside of 10 different ad sets. So that would be 30 total ads. 3 ads times 10 ad sets. So here's kind of how that process would look, and this is how you should set up a conversions campaign. You need to have this kind of split testing in place. So I'm going to duplicate the ad. So notice that I'm in ads here. Notice that I'm in ads, and I'm going to first duplicate the ad, and I'm going to create a new ad, keep everything the same. I'm just going to put in a new image. So now I'm going to put in this image here and click publish. That's all I'm going to do. I'm not going to change anything else. Then I'm going to click close. All right, so that's a new photo. I'm going to do it one more time. And what I'm going to do is just duplicate this one more time and put in one additional photo. So let's clear the images, and I don't recommend doing stock photos, but let's just throw one in. And let's see here. Sure. I never recommend doing stock photos, but just for the sake of example and making this quick, I will just throw it in there and click publish. So I usually recommend these are more selfie style photos, like the first 2 that I had that are actually you. Those just tend to perform a lot better. So, all right, now that we have our 3 different photos in here, now what we're going to do is we're going to go to Ad Sets, and I'm going to duplicate this, and I'm going to create 9 copies. Okay, so it's in the original campaign, and I'm going to make 9 copies of this ad set. And then I'm just going to click publish and close, so all of them get published out. Alright, so these are now all published, and this first one here, for some reason the name's not quite working perfectly, so I'm going to manually update this one, the name. Alright, and then click close, so that's updated now. Now with these other ones, what you're going to do, and notice we're in ad sets, you're going to come in and you're going to click Edit and Advanced Options, and see this has all this stuff. So I'm going to now scroll down, and all we're going to change in the ad sets is just the interests. Okay, so just the interests are the only thing that we're going to change. So I'm going to remove small business owners, and now let's try entrepreneurship. I'm going to see, let's see, 207 million people. All right, great. So that gives me 15 million people, and I'm going to try entrepreneurship. So once I select that, I will go to the very top, click Advanced Options, and click on Rename, and then Publish. So, and then I'll click Close, and now you can see I have an ad set that's targeting entrepreneurship. All right, so you're going to go through all 10 of these and edit them. Go down, remove small business owners, or if you want, just click Suggestions. And let's see, scroll down, let's see, I'm going to try home business, sure. And then I'll remove small business owners. All right, so home business has 320,000. That's big enough. It's not huge, but it's big enough. So these are people who are interested in and have like pages related to that. So then what I'll do is I will again scroll up, click Advanced Options, and Rename. And that will bring in, and the reason we're doing that is just because what we want to have happen is we want to be able to tell when our stats start coming in what interests are performing best. So this column right here where it says cost per result is going to show us what our cost is for each of these different interests per new lead that we're getting. So it helps you track your results and actually keep a really good track of how to measure your results. Now, when we go into, like, if I click on entrepreneurship here, you'll see that the ads in here, their names have not updated. So one thing I recommend, after you have done all of these ad sets and all the names are here and all the interests are updated, then what I recommend doing is click this Select All and go click Ads for 10 ad sets up here. And this is going to pull up every single ad, okay? And this is how you evaluate which ads are working and which aren't. Now initially, because you're spending $5 a day on all of these, you're going to spend $50 a day, but you're really only going to do that for 4 or 5 days. And that's how long it's going to take you to get a pretty good split test in. So I recommend doing that for about 5 days. Then what you do, you're in Ads for 10 ad sets, just check this checkbox here, and you'll click on Edit. And then you're going to go to Advanced Options, and you want this to say ad set name, and then you're going to click on Rename. So it's going to rename all of these ads. Okay? It's going to rename all of your ads so that way you can see which ads are inside of which ad sets. And that'll help us determine. So then typically when we're tracking the results, what we'll do is we'll click cost per result here, and it'll show us $1, $3, $5, $8, $12, that kind of thing. And that way we can actually track the results as they're coming in. And so we can turn off all of the ones that are more expensive, and then you only run the top 5% of ads that are performing at a really great cost. Okay, and then from there you can determine there's certain interests that are perform really well. If you have a full-blown sales page set up, then one thing that you're going to want to add as an event is purchases. So rather than just lead results, you would want to add a custom conversion that's purchases and how much is that worth, and then you can track every single piece of your whole funnel.